All right, guys, so here's what we got going on. We got the Oasis Division 1 tournament. For those of you guys who've missed out on the action so far this month, we've come a long ways. Look at all these events, $300 in cash prizes. Got D4 to D3 to D2 to D1. Winner of D2 was BR, who's in the mix now. Cold is in here as well. Cold won his way into D1 last month. He's a killer. Loka, obviously, we all know and love Loka. He's an entertainer. He's a showman, top-level player. And Ed is in here as well. All these guys fighting today for the $30. Also fighting to go down to the semi-pro division, which is somewhere in here as well. All right, without further ado, let's get it rolling. Quick shout out to the sponsors. Snark and Rfish came in big this month. Big donations. Also, Rolls Royce, Doofus. Oh my God, it's Marsh, Mustafa, Dredash, MS372, CS Pro, and Ibrahim. Thanks for all the donation, guys. You keep the lights on around here. All the money goes back to the players, keeps the action rolling. That's it. I got nothing else to say. Let's get it going.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another round of the Blitz World Series.
Loka versus Cold. First stream in 10 days. What do you think we forgot? What do you think we did wrong? Yep, that's the way she goes, folks. That's the way she goes. I was hungry. I wanted to be a part of the action. You can't blame me. I wanted to be a part of the fun. I am an idiot. Okay. This is pick your own factions throughout this tournament, by the way. Pick your own factions here. Best of 5. Let's get it rolling. Gino and I've been trying to put together the D1 for about 4 days. So I think at this point we got 4 players. We kind of just got to roll with it. All right, here we go. Loka in yellow in the top right. Cold in red in the bottom left. It is best of 5. Pick your own factions. I know I just said it, but I'm saying it again. We're going to be a little bit repetitive today. That's what it's all about. Oasis map, for those of you who don't know, in order to control, to get Navy in the center, you do have to capture the lighthouse with an engineer. The other caveat is every 10 game minutes, 4 crates pop out that have some money in them. So keep an eye on that. That's why it's called the Oasis. It's got to give you money. Yeah, like I said, these players, very similar levels. We got 4 players in this Division 1 bracket. Pretty small turnout. We had a lot of players not able to make it, which was unfortunate. But these 4 players, I think, are going to be pretty even and should put on a pretty good show for us. Those of you guys who've missed Loka, one of his games, he currently has, like, I think, the most views on my YouTube channel. One of the top ones is a game where he, like, was able to withstand and hold off the enemy for 5 minutes with nothing but a barracks. So Loka is a showman. He really cares about our entertainment. And yeah, that's what it's all about. Yuri, yeah, we're gonna try to get Yuri in Blitz eventually, but yeah, there's tournaments all the time. If you go to ra2themoon.com, you can find links to other Discords, other YouTube channels that do more traditional Red Alert 2. The Fortune Chaos guys do a lot of tournaments. If you want to play some traditional Red Alert 2, those are some good resources on there. So, pretty even so far. Both players stretching a little bit. Loka's build's getting a little bit congested over here. He's choosing not to stretch as much as you see Cold really stretching himself out. Cold does not have enough offensive advantage here to really push in, though, between the fodder. Yeah, I like that. Loka making good use of fodder. Couple conscripts, couple dogs. Neither player with enough of an advantage to push through a sentry gun right now. Oh, Nevers, you were the one who was playing Loka? That's funny. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, Cold really being the aggressor here, trying to push through, but those sentry guns, it's a nice little choke point on this map. It's a difficult point to attack from. Now a 3rd sentry gun out. We've talked about this before. If you bait heavy defenses, now look, all that money he spent on defenses. Now you can try to go from somewhere else, but obviously, you know, you leave your base a little bit undefended, so it's a little bit tricky here. Neither player utilizing bunkers, which is interesting. Bunkers, generally a good move, or a forward barracks would be nice. Both players' barracks a bit out of position. Loka's barracks a little bit better. You see his fodder joining in quick. Loka's going to try to take a bite here. I think maybe try to snipe that oil. Could get a nice chain reaction if we see Cold not respond fast enough. But now a Tesla. Oh, Tesla coil. I like that. Nice range on that. And we do see Loka now bringing a bit of a split on the bottom side, and Cole's MCV is naked right now. His Destos are going to be a little late to the party here. Oh, he brings an engineer out, possibly to try to repair the MCV, but that's not going to work. Tesla coil and some desolators, and does lose the MCV. A beautiful split from Loka, distracting him on the top side as he went to the bottom, take out that MCV. And that's going to be tough for Cold. So Cold is going to have to push in here, possibly. He definitely feels the pressure now, losing an MCV this early in the game. You know, he only has he has 2 war factories out. He has a decent economy, 5 oils. He's got power, he's got a radar, but as the game progresses, he's just going to fall steadily behind. Loka can just continue to produce. He can push tech. He can go war factories. He can take naval. So the position's going to go from bad to worse for Cold. So Cold's got to feel the pressure to try to make something happen right now with a bit of a counter punch, but there isn't any obvious openings, no glaring gaps in Loka's armor at this point. So Cold's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard spot because, I don't know, he can't really push, but he kind of has to push. Hard to say. Hard to say. Yeah, so the Blitz mod is built on through Yuri's Revenge, yep. Yeah, without the Yuri, exactly. We're gonna bring Yuri in. Yuri's gonna be in Blitz one of these months. You guys all stay tuned. Stay tuned. Put it on the calendar someday. Just mark off every day for the rest of eternity and put today might be the day. So now you see Loka here, very comfortable to sit back, build that battle lab. Cold with a bit of a split, pushing through some radiation. Does find a gap in that radiation though. Diving on a war factory. He needs bigger hits than that. It's kind of hard to say. Like, what does he try to do? I don't know, but he's in a tough spot. And in case you guys were having like a really good day and you need something to dampen your spirits a little bit, Kian dropped out of the pro tournament next week. Kian doesn't want to play Blitz anymore. No explanation. Very depressing. He just said no. I said, Kian, can I expect to have you in the tournament next week? He said no. I said, oh, is there something going on? Could you explain it? Nothing. That's it. That's it. You think you know a guy. You think you're good friends with him. But that's the problem with friendships. Strangers over the internet. You never know. So, yeah, Loka just continuing to pull ahead here. A lot of desos. So many desos. Just no ability for... I don't know. At this point, if I was Cold could consider trying to run out the clock. Well, no. Never mind. We got like 6 minutes left. Oh, yeah. He could have tried to ult and take 2 war factories. Yeah, to Sheriff Stranger. It's like, to Sheriff, like, I think, God, me and to Sheriff, we're friends. But are we really friends? Like, if the Sheriff got arrested for, you know, killing cats or something, would I be like, oh my God? Because I don't really know the Sheriff. The Sheriff could be a cat killer. Who knows? Just kidding, the Sheriff. I know you. We're friends. And I know you're not a cat killer. I shouldn't have said that. Nice dive on the bottom side, taking out that nuclear reactor. He has to be careful. Does not want to hit that oil derrick. It would take a lot of damage on those tanks. That was a nice little split. Nice little split. I like Cold hanging in here. Good placement of those desos. Those desos by that right light tower from Cold, getting some nice chip damage in. Now some drones out to slow down this army on the bottom side. Does get quite a few drones in and some desos to slow things down as well. So Loka's gonna have a hard time pushing through that bottom side. Desos not deploying. Desos now deploying. And so Loka has to be pretty comfortable diving on it. Does not dive on that war factory. So, you know, in these kind of situations with Cold not having a war factory, Loka could have dove, take out that war factory. Now, you know, now Cold's on 1 war factory, you know? So, got to kind of consider those dives for key buildings when a player doesn't have an MCV. Yeah, and the show goes on here. So Loka's Iron Curtain is coming. Iron Curtain ready for Loka. That should be enough to kind of cinch this up. Now some Kurov's out as well. So Loka just taking his time on this first point, not leaving anything to chance. Where's the Kurov? There's the Kurov. That's just what you needed. These desos are so annoying just in his base. Now a nuke out, the Kurov out. Cold dives again. And that does put him low power, which is hilarious because he can't use the Iron Curtain. And Cold shaking and baking, man, it's hilarious because he has nothing going for him, but he's making some things happen. Hats off. Kurov coming now, forces the cell on one of his 2 war factories. Cold not left with much. Loka not really left with, like, Loka. Cold's doing a good job, but Yeah, very, very even, and you gotta wonder how this game could have gone without that early MCV snipe. It's gonna be very interesting to see how this series plays out. Obviously, Loka in the driver's seat here, but I mean, Cold making a lot happen without an MCV. I'm excited to get into point 2 here and see how this progresses throughout this series. Good first point to start on, though. Yeah, Loka's throwing, but like, can he really lose? Like, is it possible for him to lose here? You know what I mean? You hate to take out an MCV and then lose on time, but he keeps putting the nuclear reactor. It's like he wants him to destroy the nuclear reactor. Has he even gotten this Iron Curtain off? Iron Curtain's the nuclear reactor and 2 tanks as the 2-minute warning comes. Yeah, this is a wacky point. Loka making a dive on an oil derrick on the top side. So now Loka has 2 nuclear reactors. He wants to get this nuke off. Kirov out now. Frakes in the house. Loka deserves. Yeah, I know we've talked about that before. It's all about what your ability to drop the hammer, and especially in Blitz with the 10-minute timer, you know, it's so important because the points are wacky, man. You don't want to let it come down to points, especially if you've had control the whole game. You take out the other player's MCV. You got to be able to convert those late game positions, you know, checkmate the opponent. And on this map, obviously the big missing component that we're seeing is the naval yard. You take the naval yard, you get the dreadnoughts out. GG easy, no re. Okay, and so only a couple buildings left here. The oils do not count. So he does get it before the timer goes. First point going to Loka. Yeah, an unfortunate position for Cold losing that MCV early on. Ed in the house. Ed, you're here. You're home early, Ed. Buddy, home super early. I love that. Love the commitment. All right, let's keep this rolling here. All right, point number 2 here. So we did see Loka. I mean, obviously Loka won that point. There wasn't much chance for Cold to win it, but at the same time, obviously Cold, pretty impressive gameplay for not having an MCV. You gotta wonder what's gonna happen if Cold maintains his MCV past the first 2 minutes of the game. So again, guys, we do have Ed and BR coming up right after this. BR is our Division 2 champion of the month. BR is a nice top-level player. Well, you know, BR is like a nice, good Rhino War. He's a good D2, D1 player. And so him and Ed should have a pretty good match coming up here right after this. The winners, the 2 winners are going on to a best of 5 to take home the $30, claim that Division 1 title, and move into the semi-pro bracket, which will be kicking off next week with all those names you guys know and love. Jaz, Artie, Zed. Jaz, Artie, Zed, Berg. Jaz, Artie, Zed, Berg. Some other people, who knows. And the pros starting up next week as well. Marco, Legend, Zane, possibly. Who knows anymore? Who knows? All right, so again, we see Loka kind of with more of a congested build. Cold going to be the one pushing the topic here as he stretches his base as much as possible, trying to get that early conflict. Wants to come right at Loka. I like that. He's hungry. Wants to pick up a second win. Certainly doesn't want to get his MCV sniped again and slowly die a slow, sad death. Slow, sad, MCV-less death. How are the predictions looking?
I've got the knowledge.
Cool. Good talk. That layer apparently is not working. So who knows? Who knows? Early rhinos here. Loka kind of dancing around here, baiting him, staying on his toes, not showing where he's going to attack from. But we do see now a little base battle on the right side as the tanks have other things going on. Gun to my head. I would take Cold. I would take Cold winning this series, even though he's down a point. I think Cold would win this. I think so. I think so. Cold's pretty nasty business, man. I think he got unfortunate position that last point, losing his MCV, but Cold's tough. Loka's tough too, but if gun to my head, I'd be going with Cold, I think. All right, so a bunker out and a wall. So both, it's funny, like if the army leaves the right side, then both armies now dealing with the left side. And that MCV again is looking nice and juicy. Loka wants to take a bite, but you see Cold right in position to stop it. Loka joining in some fodder here. Loka with a decent Rhino advantage. Not sure where this Rhino... Oh, no, Cold's got a few Rhinos out of position at the War Factory. Got to be pretty even on Rhinos. Both players have managed their economies nicely. And you'll see that, you know, as we go through the divisions throughout the month, you'll notice the biggest difference between these players is they have their builds down and they don't go broke. You know, that's a big part of it, is not letting your production bottom out, knowing your exact oil to power to War Factory ratio. Usually at this level, these guys are pretty dialed in. So good to see. So Cold is winning the base battle on the right side fairly handedly here as he takes out that bunker, denies the bunker, going to take out the sentry gun as well. Cold with that nice forward barracks. But Loka draws himself back a little bit, puts up another bunker. Don't want to fall too far behind over there. Things are getting pretty gummed up on that right side. Going to be difficult for the tanks to get. The tanks battles could get a little messy over there with how tight those buildings are. And again, Loka going back over to the left side. You see Cold responding. The V3 rockets, that could be the move. So Cold does take a lighthouse here. Lighthouse isn't really that valuable without tech. Not really a lot you can get done. You see Cold throws out a Deso, tries to get some chip damage in here. So now Cold is out with a battle lab. So Cold ready to take the Navy, get some dreadnoughts out. Nice little split here from Loka going right up the middle. Cold responds to that. It's difficult to fight that uphill battle in that position right in the middle of the enemy's base, but I like that Loka's preparing the splits. So this was nice. We got a little locked up. The armies were locked up on the left. The bunkers are locked up on the right. Bit of a stalemate developing. And then you see Cold make that decisive move towards the center here. So as his building's getting shot here, he could have pushed in to try to get some damage done. Try to take some of those buildings. He kind of baited that naval yard. I would have liked to have seen Cold jump in there and destroy a few tanks, make him pay for that. But the naval yard, you got to just keep pumping it. Keep pumping it. Get a Deso down there to protect that. I like that. So a Deso now to protect the naval yard. And the dreadnoughts are going to be the deciding factor here as an Iron Curtain does come out. So Cold way ahead on tech and way ahead on money as well. As I talked about those top-level players knowing their economy, I spoke a bit too soon because Loka is currently on 5 oils with 3 war factories and a battle lab, and that's not going to work. So Loka splitting now, going to try to take the naval yard. And yeah, and Sa's going to say, yep, another naval yard. Keep the naval yards out, get the dreadnoughts out. That's what it's all about. Can that dreadnought get to open water? No, it cannot. And Cold is okay just dropping all these naval yards, dropping these dreadnoughts. I'm not sure exactly what he has planned as Loka brings a Kirov going to the right side. Hopefully the Kirov gets something done because Loka's broke. Loka is broke. Loka going to be able to grab some of those crates and he could use them. He's broke, so he splits now. Split's now going to take both naval yards. That dreadnought makes it to open water. Is he out of range? The dreadnought is out of range. He takes 1 war factory, but now here comes the Kirov, and the Kirov to counter the dreadnought. You saw it here first, folks. He does, wow, and takes a couple war factories there. And Cold's got to be very, very happy with that exchange. Especially with how rich Cold is right now, to put a massive dent in Loka's production. Loka now on no war factories. He's going to very quickly fall behind in the Rhino wars here. Nice move from Cold. Kirov goes down. It was a good defensive Kirov from Loka, though. I like Loka as a player. He thinks outside the box. It was an interesting move, but he got himself, his economy got out of sorts mid-game there. He had too much. I think he was going heavy war factories, and then he switched over. We do have a Boris on the right side doing some work. I like that. He ICs the drones. The drones pump in, and Cold is going to pull back here. And, ooh, and you see Loka Desos himself pretty hard, loses his whole army, and with the force shield to save the MCV, well played from Cold. As we see Loka now in the water, out with a dreadnought. Those flak tracks going to hard counter, though. Yeah, very, very interesting. What is this right here on the screen? A little weird, a little teal splotch. And so Loka now with no army, unless Cold does not have the map scouted. You know, he's going to realize he's way up here, but going to take out the naval yard, do this systematically, no reason to make any mistakes here. Yeah, it's hard to say. I think Loka, Loka was on 3 war factories. He needed to keep building oils if he wanted to go heavy rhinos, and then he switched over to tech, and he just spread himself too thin. Obviously, now he's on 15K, but there was a crucial point in the game there where he was broke, and that was really working against him. And Cold's got a lot of bruise tanks here. Needs to be careful with this radiation. You guys know more than anyone is that Loka is not going to ever quit out. Loka's here to make it happen. So he's going to dive on the MCV here. And the APOC's coming to try to roll through that radiation. Cold does have a nuke out as well. Iron Curtain out. The APOC's for the win. And again, the MCV hit is thwarted. The APOC's closing in. The Rhinos on the bottom loses most of those Rhinos, but they certainly get the job done. Time to use the new graphic. I got the new reward point. Who wants to use it? Who wants to use it? Just quit yellow. The new channel point reward. It's going to be satisfying. Whoever the first person to smash it is going to be really happy with themselves.
2 minutes remaining.
You resign now.
No, Nebras. You did it on the wrong side.
You resign now.
There you go. You resign now. Queen's Gambit, chess metaphor. If you guys don't know Queen's Gambit, you don't know chess, it's not as satisfying. For me, it's incredibly satisfying because I love that show. APOC's still rolling through here. Nebras does just quit. You can't use it for Cold. Look at Cold's base, Nebras. Cold's not going to quit. Nebras. Classic Nebras. Mixing up his left and right. Who would quit when they got that many APOCs? And we're going to be for a long series tonight, boys and girls, if these two players continue to refuse to quit out of their games. We've already had 2 games almost go to 10 minutes. So moving a little slow here, but that's okay. That's okay. You resign now. You resign now. 1-1. What a barn burner. What a banger. What a banger. Cold OP. Cold OP. Here we go. Point number 3. So it is 1-1 now. All knotted up here. Is best of 5. Is best of 5. So the series goes on. Hopefully BR and Ed don't have anywhere to be because, well, I guess this should have gone about 40 minutes. Yeah, it's moving a little slow. Two 10-minute games. A lot of times in a series, you'll have a game that only goes a few minutes. But like I said, lucky unicorn for Loka. Lucky unicorn for Loka. I don't know if Loka actually probably does need the lucky unicorn. Like I said, I think Cold is the slight favorite here. But again, I mean, you guys have seen. Obviously, these guys are both good players. Understand Blitz well. Artie has a fan in the chat. Artie's a crowd favorite, man. That's why I gave him a new Iron Man. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but Artie used to have a kind of a stupid Iron Man. It's kind of like grainy and not a very good Iron Man for his thumbnail images. So I was like, Artie needs a new Iron Man. He's a crowd favorite. So Artie now has a new Iron Man. Took me a long time. Pretty proud of it. Ooh, and so Loka loses a Rhino there, and Cold coming right in. That early War Factory, early tanks, gonna try to pick on that oil. Gonna bait a Sentry here. So now a Sentry and a Rhino, a bit of fodder as well. He needs to target that. He is gonna pull out. Sentry guns are tricky early on. If you don't have the Rhino numbers, Sentries can cause a lot of problems, and they get a lot of value too. Obviously, your opponent's gonna be repairing them. So if you don't destroy it, you don't get much done. Another Sentry. So now it's time for Cold to pull out. And that's fine. Baiting those early Sentry guns does throw off his build a little bit. You just don't want to get too crazy. That early pressure, messing with his build order, forcing the Sentry guns is always nice, but after that, you got to be really careful. And he's going to continue the push here. Now he has 3 smoking Rhinos early on in the game. That's tricky, and now loses 2. And now Loka, about even here. And Cold is broke, so now Cold needs to be careful. He does not have the defensive ability to bring a Sentry gun here, as he has really spread himself thin financially. Oh, we just lost audio, didn't we? Yep, we lost game audio. Man, we are struggling today, guys. Yeah, so the game audio's out. I will fix it after this point. Perfect sentry gun there from Cold to hold off here. Switches over tank targets, and so again, you see Loka not without quite enough to make anything happen there. Okay, okay, okay. And so now Cold with a slight tank advantage is going to try to push. Where does he go now? No, Loka. Well, people, they're not getting their tanks to the front line, so it's hard to keep track here. Loka has more. Yeah, it's very even right now. How are we doing on money? Both players about 1,500. They can keep from bottoming out. They'll stay very even there. Cold now going to start pumping some conscripts. So we do see Loka on 3 war factories, though. So Cold needs to make something happen quick here. And so he's now, Cold builds a forward barracks on the left side. So now Cold has this forward barracks on the left side. He's pumping conscripts there. He's got conscripts on the right. Not sure what he has planned. And Loka, you know Loka's MO. He's going to go back door and try to look for that MCV. And Cold would really be beating himself up if he allowed that to happen again. He's in now. Loka is going broke now because you see him pumping these sentry guns, and Cold allows himself to lose. He sells the MCV, and again, Cold makes the same mistake twice. 3 rhinos on the backside, taking out the MCV 3 minutes into the game. Very, very unfortunate. It was a good split, though, from Loka. Hats off to him. It was well played, playing both sides of the map. Making Cold, having a difficult time picking where to send his units. You saw he was very distracted because that MCV wasn't even getting repaired early on. He had a lot going on the left side he had to deal with. Okay, okay, okay. And now Loka continuing. Those are those same 3 tanks. Gonna get that oil. Take 2 oils there on the right side. So Cold now down to 2 barracks and a war factory. He's on 15K and he does have power. But same kind of situation as last time. What can you really do? Unless the other player blunders, they're going to slowly force you out. Like to see Loka doesn't have any money, so it's kind of annoying. Again, we're going to see here kind of a slow death more than likely. I think both these players have proven that they are not going to be quitting anytime soon in these games. So Loka going to try to push in here. He's just got to try to target these key buildings. But at the same time, Loka doesn't want to blunder. He can sit back, get his economy going, and just slowly win this game via tech, Kirovs, piece by piece. But Loka's a showman at the same time. He wants to put on a show. So we'll see what happens here as Cold is now loading flak tracks with Tesla troopers, which is always a little bit funnier than it sounds. Nice hit on that oil, but chopping off Cold's economy is going to be a slow way to win as you see him on 20K. Yeah, the game audio just cut out. I'm having some issues with it. I'll get it going after this point. Oh, and Cold quits out. So apparently Cold does care about our patience as Loka does take home point number 2. Okay, let's try to fix the game audio. Game audio. Okay, that should work. All right, so it is 2-1 now, and both wins that Loka's taken home here have been just Cold, and it's difficult, and it's one of those things where you see it once, Cold leaves his MCV out to dry. Loka makes a good split, takes it home. It's tempting to say, oh, he kind of got lucky, or Cold, it was a blunder. But when it happens twice, you got to start wondering. Obviously there's a bit of neglect from Cold from protecting the backside of his base. But at the same time, I think you really got to give credit to Loka as he's really keeping an eye on the entire map and spotting those weaknesses. And on a small map like this, it's so important because you can react very quickly. If you see an opening, you can get units over there to try to take advantage of it very, very quickly. And Loka's been doing a very good job with that. So match point here, if Loka can take it home, it is best of 5. Best of 5 here. So Cold is battling to keep the series going, try to stay in this tournament. Loka trying to end things here, not give him a chance to breathe. Andy fans in the chat. Everyone's an Andy fan. Everyone's Andy fans. Cold again, the early. You see him just got to be a little bit frustrating, you know, losing 2 points like that, leaving your MCV exposed. But again, very similar builds. Loka being a little bit more contained as Cold stretches right towards him. Yeah, you got to imagine both these guys are hungry here. The question is Cold the kind of player who's going to use that energy as fuel, his anger and his frustration right now, use it to rise from the ashes like a phoenix, or is he going to tilt a little bit and throw the game? So far, a very clean build, moving very quickly here. Nice rhinos, nice sentry gun, nice forward push on the right side. And Loka's, you got to imagine Loka's looking at that MCV again, and here he goes on the left side, but Cold's not going to allow that to happen. Over there now to adjust, and a very similar point as last time. Or was that point number 2 where we saw a very similar situation? Nice bunker from Cold, and I love that forward barracks. And just out of range of the oil, so he doesn't do any splash damage to himself. Cold's very happy to continue this base walk on the right side here. I would have liked to have seen another bunker come right after that, though. Just keep the push going. Again, you're going to see Loka make a conservative bunker and try to just kind of delay the push on the right side while he looks for openings with his army. And interesting to see straight Soviet versus Soviet here today, which is interesting. At the top level, I think you guys will see Allied very favored on this map with Kian's new kind of new heavy eagle sniper counter turtle Allied meta. I think at the top level you're going to be seeing a lot of that until there is a counter that develops for it. I think Allied's going to become very OP at the higher level in Blitz, but yeah, at the lower level you see these kind of players still just a little bit more comfortable with Rhino Wars, which obviously a lot of players are. So now Cold with straight conscripts on the right side, gonna rush that bunker. Very, very tricky. Pulls back to his bunker, which is in range. Should win this bunker battle now. He's going to try to take that oil. That oil might chain react this other oil, which would take both bunkers if he could get it. But he lets him juice up that bunker too quickly. Again, takes it down. So now Cold pulling back. Sells that bunker off. Maybe feels like he doesn't have the money. Oh, builds another bunker? That was a weird exchange on the right side. You see both these players, their armies aren't moving because they're so busy microing this bunker battle on the right side, which is hilarious. Ooh, yep, and does get that chain reaction, and that's a very nice exchange there for Cold, as you see Cold's economy looking very, very strong right now versus Loka, who is bottoming out. And again, I think this was the same position he got himself into last time. He's got 3 war factories and does not have the oil to support him. Could be because of his base defenses that are throwing it off. You know, you got to kind of understand that aspect of it as well. As if you're building infantry, if you're building bunkers, obviously it's going to take more money. Loka is bottoming out, and if you're bottoming out, there's no reason to have 3 war factories. The war factories build up your build speed, obviously, but if you don't have any money, that doesn't matter. So, yeah, Loka needs to reconsider his position here. Cold producing nicely, and you see a massive tank advantage as he does go take the lighthouse now and a battle lab out. So Loka. You got to imagine Loka's in a pretty tough spot right now. This demo truck on the right side here going to try to get through. I think does more damage to himself. Wasn't bad. Now Loka pushing into those bunkers, not a good idea. 2 fully juiced bunkers on the right side. Cold could be scouting that bottom right side. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, maybe just pulling the attention away. Whoa. Did Cold just send that Rhino on the right side specifically to throw attention away so we could sneak the demo in? If that's what he did, I absolutely love it. Great move, great move. I'll grab the replay. Don't worry. If you guys missed it, I'll replay it after this. Engineer in the open field. You hate to see that. So Cold is in the water now with the naval yard, and he does have his battle lab out, so we're going to see the dreadnoughts coming as he does also go Iron Curtain. Loka's economy's finally caught up, but he's behind on tanks. He's behind on tech. There's a Kirov coming. Loka's got a battle lab out, not much to do with it. Going to try to counter that dreadnought from the land. Doesn't get anything done. Chinta's first time chat, 5D chess. I don't get it, but thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks for hanging out. All right, that Kirov doing some work. Another Kirov, couple Kirovs coming as Loka is out now with an Iron Curtain. We're at 6 minutes. I don't know. Loka now in the water as well. Gonna try to get a squid out, I would imagine. A squid to try to neutralize that dreadnought. You know, Cold doesn't have as much of a tank advantage. Why doesn't have Why doesn't Cold have way more tanks? Loka was broke for like 2 minutes. Loka now has a siege chopper out because his #1 priority is entertaining you guys. And whenever the siege chopper comes out, that's how you know a player is a showman. Loka is a showman. Squid out to neutralize that that dreadnought siege choppers. Loka with his own Kurovs. He's making some things happen, shaking and baking here, but in an unfortunate position and not repairing his MCV, which is stressing me out on the bottom right there. Kurov coming, drones are out, V3 rockets out, and Cold now going to dive on this MCV. He can't let this go on any longer. Going to get the MCV, going to get the Iron Curtain, decides to take the flat cannon first. Loka now going for a base trade, some nice Desos in position here. Loka splitting his tanks up, does take the MCV, does take the Battle Lab. The Iron Curtain used defensively here to protect the nuclear reactor and a single war factory. Loka gets a lot done here. What else can he get? Going to try to target that nuclear reactor. Don't think he's going to, or the nuclear silo. He's now trying to shoot through the Iron Curtain, not able to do it. Kurov on the right side goes down before getting much damage done, and Loka left with nothing, but some nice hits from Loka, and we are going to game 5, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 5 coming up. Game number 5. GG! 2-2, best of 5. What a banger, man. What an absolute banger. Going to the no timer map. What a banger. It's a barn burner. That's the only word for it. It is a barn burner. Hell of a match here. 10 days off. You love to come back to a stream, get a couple guys in here. Nice, clean game of Blitz. Top level players playing top level Blitz and taking us to game number 5. I love it. So far, BR, if everything goes according to plan, BR, or sorry. Sorry. Whoops, messing things up. If everything goes according to plan, Cold is pulling ahead. Cold has, you see, both of their openings are strong. They both get their tanks out. We see very even kind of tank dances early on. As we move into that super early mid game, Cold, if everything's going smoothly, Cold pulls ahead. Loka is a bit off on his economy at that point, and he's generally suffered. Now, if everything goes smoothly from that in the mid game, Cold is usually able to pull ahead. The 2 points that Loka has won were situations where he was able to backdoor snipe the MCV from Cold. So we'll see here what these players have learned, what they're going to bring into point number 5 here. Obviously, this is it. This is for all the marbles. The winner of this goes on to play the winner of the next game in the championship for the $30. Loser of this takes the long, sad walk home. So if Loka, the key to victory here is for Loka to dial in that early mid game, make sure his economy's down. He can't afford to go broke early mid game. And also, I don't know, you got to be thinking Loka's got to be looking to try to make something happen, because Cold's proven himself as a very, very tough player. If you leave him to his own devices, you got to try to put some pressure on. You got to make him uncomfortable. We'll see if Loka's able to make that happen. Yep, yeah, Loka won 2 points both times with those backdoor MCV snipes. So this is a match point here. And honestly, Loka slightly... No, sorry. Cold just not bringing his tanks to the front lines. But nice push here, and another sentry gun out. Takes that sentry gun down, and Cold's going to pay for not having those tanks in position. But now Cold brings his tanks into position. Now Loka on the run here. Hard to say. Those are so even, you know. Obviously, Loka losing some tanks, Cold losing some sentry guns. Really, really difficult to say. Keep an eye on the money here. We will very soon be getting to the point where the economy matters. Either of these players start bottoming out, they're going to fall behind radically. As you see Cold pumping the dogs, bring the fodder to the front lines here. Loka matching. Cold's going to go onto that second level, try to attack up the... See, a lot of players aren't attacking from this spot here. These bunkers early on, even just with a couple units in them, can do a lot of chip damage, can really slow you down. So double sentry guns out now in that position. Loka's got to be looking for another spot to attack from at this point. Going to go right into these sentry guns. Oof. Very, very questionable. He does not have it. He doesn't even have a tank advantage here. But even with a few tank advantage, it would be very difficult to push directly through those sentry guns. So Loka now on his 3rd War Factory, but looks like he may have managed things a little bit better here. So yeah, so he is on, so 6 oils now. So I think his economy should be okay. Cold obviously has more money than he knows what to do with. That's his style. And now Loka, oh my god. If Loka got the MCV again with the triple Rhino split on the right side, I would have had to break my screen. With excitement or disappointment, I don't even know. I don't even know. It would go both ways. Yeah, it's interesting. Their build orders are definitely a little bit different here, as we do see it pretty much evened out now. Both players on 4 War Factories, but Cold on 7 oils versus... Yeah, very, 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 very similar. Loka 1 oil behind. I don't... You think... yeah, Cold... Oh, yeah. Cold... Cold could definitely consider, but I don't know. Loka's kind of squirrely, man. Like, he's one of those kind of players where you're always kind of questioning yourself. You know, it's questioning, you know, you think it's the time to attack, but then you're like, is he making me think it's the time to attack? So Loka does secure the lighthouse now. Battle Lab out from Loka. Loka's double engineering, going to try to take both lighthouses, which is interesting. And Cold going to respond on the right side, take the right lighthouse. So both players now will have a lighthouse, and we'll see what goes on in the water here, because that could certainly be decisive. But again, we see Loka going broke, and that's not where you want to be as we move into the late game. Well, this is still mid game, but mid to late game here, as the tech starts coming out, you don't want to be broke. Loka would love to be able to secure the water if he could, but you see he's bottoming out. He wants Kirovs, he built that Iron Curtain, he wants tanks, so he builds a Squid, which is the defensive move here. Instead of trying to get a Dreadnought out and make something happen, he brings out a Squid right out. Both players now have Squids. The Squids can battle? I didn't know the Squids could battle. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I did not know the Squids could battle. I thought they were like drones. You know, they meet in the open field and don't know what to do. So now we have Squid battles going on in the center here in point number 5, which you'll love to see. And Loka, again, using that Kirov to help secure the water, forces the cell on that naval yard. I like that. It's a good move. Loka on a lot of radiation here on the bottom side. Not sure why he's on that radiation in the bottom right. Drone now to counter those Desolators. This Kirov on the left side is looking for a target. A Dreadnought could be absolutely huge here. If his base is properly scouted, you start going for the oils, you start getting massive chain reactions. This oil's looking juicy, that oil's looking juicy. Gotta get away from these flak tracks. The flak tracks are going to counter it. Doesn't look like these missiles are going to be able to get through. Kirov coming now, get some nice chain reactions on that top side. Another Dreadnought comes out, and Cold... You see a slight pause in the action from Cold as he's trying to assess the situation. You got to imagine he felt like he was up in this game. He had the momentum, he had the tanks, but now Loka coming from the right side. Cold having to force shield, the Dreadnought's doing work. That Kirov is now sitting on the top side. I don't know why it's off the screen. I feel like the Kirov's flying a little bit higher than normal. Oh, because it's above the Iron Curtain. Okay. Takes out the Iron Curtain, though. Cold left with a lot of tanks right now. This is a banger. Iron Curtain on the right side from Loka, and so we are going to see a bit of a base trade here, and the Dreadnoughts are AFK. You've got to imagine the Dreadnoughts could be doing absolute work right now. There is a lot of flak in this base, but still the Dreadnoughts could certainly be doing work. We see the Rhinos coming in here on the right side. They take out the MCV. Now he has all those Dreadnoughts right in the middle of the water, picking specific targets, and there goes the War Factory. Every tank Cold has right now is all the tanks he's going to have for the rest of this game. He's got to push here. He pushes over his own radiation. Now all of his Rhinos with chip damage. And that Dreadnought's now being used to try to weaken the Rhinos from Loka. Loka is out-tanked right now, but Cold is severely damaged here. So Loka is just baiting his base at this point. Let him take the buildings. He needs to assess them to get some Dreadnoughts in position. You'd like to see some drones get out here, try to make something happen. But Loka, there is no timer on this game. So Loka with a massive advantage right now. With no timer, Loka just needs to hang on, needs to resist this push. He's got the Desolators. Desolators in position here. But yeah, Loka with these Dreadnoughts. And here come the Rhinos. And he's going to go after his army. He's going to try to take the army here, but he does quit out. Cold had too many damaged tanks when he started that push, and very well played by Loka. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? I mean, that's absolutely hilarious. That was an absolute banger of a match. And like we talked about with Loka, he's an unconventional player. It's a little too late for the secret sauce from Cold. Ed and BR hop in.